We are live. Hello, 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 everyone. Savvy entrepreneurs. All right. I want to get rid of our Christmas theme in a second, but we're getting a little festive, right?
Right. Give people a second to tune in.
Exactly. So, you never know who's coming on. You never know it's the holidays.
Right.
And then, most of the action is usually on the replay.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
once people get the
So,
message.
has someone joining us? Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
That is who's joining us. Let us know who's here. Let us know where you're from. Don't be shy. It's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Yay! A little festive in the beginning. Awesome. So you were saying you were on the radio?
Yes, I was last night live stream on Red Zone Radio.
Nice.
So
So how was that?
new experience, more so for the entertainment industry. Last night, I just slid in there and gave my 2 cents, what I've been up to, and what I offer as far as design goes.
Awesome. Awesome. So people will definitely start tuning in. What were some of the highlights of the radio show?
There's numerous performing artists, producers, that stopped by as well that came through for the show. I was unaware it was like a live interview. There was also taping as well, so I was like, oh man. But it was definitely it was a good experience. Some good exposure. Networking as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for the replay, we're going to go ahead and just dive into some content. So
Okay.
I guess I'll get rid of the snow. Bye, snow. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and dive into a little bit of the content. Brian, Brian, how was your yes, please share on your timelines, everyone. Brian, how was your presentation yesterday? I know Brian was with LinkedIn yesterday. We're doing some stuff with LinkedIn yesterday.
Brian still tuned in.
Yay! Awesome. So again, everyone, as you join, the purpose of these Savvy Entrepreneur Spotlights are to highlight some of our savvy entrepreneurs and talk about, their journeys and their successes and any challenges that they face while, pursuing entrepreneurship. Also to, share some of the things that they do as entrepreneurs and how that can, help us in our community. Cool. So go ahead. This is Navare Carter with the Intuitive Creative Agency.
Yes.
And awesome. And he's going to tell us a little bit about who he is and what he does.
All right. Well, I am the owner and creative director of Intuitive Creative Agency. We've been officially around for 2 years. I started off freelancing for about 4 years prior to that, and working a day job and freelancing on the side. And eventually over the years, I'm like, hey, this is my passion. I want to start my own business with this, and go full time, and I left my job, and here I am.
Awesome. Goodbye to the day job, the slave labor. One of our savvy entrepreneurs, she's also a client of mine, she calls it the mortgage job.
The mortgage job.
Yeah. And then like people who follow Dave Ramsey, they call it the Dave job. So instead of the day job, it's the Dave job. Hi, Kevin. Yes, the struggle is real.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what made you decide to take the plunge?
It's just not finding fulfillment on any, day job that I had, designing and, just figuring it out that like, hey, I really want to do this. I feel like this is a real passion for me and it's working. So, I'm gonna just risk it all and give it a try. And I hopped out
Wow.
there and you live and you learn and you work your way around to discover, what works for you, what works for your business, and you just stay consistent with it and you grow.
Awesome.
Hmm.
So tell us a little bit about what you can plan to contribute or get from, the Savvy Entrepreneur Group, and like why you decided to, submit your application to be a spotlight.
Oh, definitely. Well, I wanted to be a part of a community. I didn't want to just link with different entrepreneurs as well. I just wanted to actually like build with them as well and collaborate on different projects. If I could help somebody else with their needs, with their businesses, or if there was a connection that they needed that I could offer to them as well. So it's just, collaborating, building off each other, help each other grow in general. And, it just comes back around full circle. So that's what I love about, savvy entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's a huge part of our premise. It gets lonely, in this entrepreneur world, working from, your office, the plane, Starbucks, wherever.
Uh,
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about some of your successes as an entrepreneur so far.
well, wow, that's a good one. Um, this year has been amazing for me. I don't know, it just kind of like just hit a bump and like things are starting to just like look up a lot lately. Um, well, I won, of course, the Music and Movie Awards, Graphic Design of the Year in the DMV. I won the Titan Arts Awards for the DMV as well. And from there, and any projects before then, it's just helped me get more exposure. It's also helped me to get more clientele as well. And just more for me to get my voice out there, for my business and what I'm actually offering, advice on brand strategizing, and also give me a lot of positions to actually give back, to the community as well. Because definitely within that, there's a lot of other entrepreneurs or my peers in general that's want to be on the same path, start their own business and just don't know how to get out there. So either way for me to give back by giving out free strategies on branding and how to go forth and starting a business.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your business and your specialty.
Well, I specialize in brand identity design, so that mainly includes logos, website design, and also brand strategizing. So within that, I don't want to just create just a beautiful logo mark from you and say, have a nice day. I want to actually help you to really gain, your right audience by communicating that, with your logo, with your monogram, your mark, your symbol, whatever you want to use to represent your business. And, in a way that actually communicates what you're selling to your audience to make that real connection so that, you can build your brand and you are who you say you are, because, your audience says that you are who you say you are.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some tips that you could share with us about branding and especially for entrepreneurs and small business owners to make themselves, stand out?
Oh, definitely. For one, stay consistent. Even if you are not using a logo and you are the face of your business, because of course brands are living organisms. So, if it's just you, keep it consistent with, your photos that you use or any social media outlets. Um, if it's a signature trademark of like a hat or a shirt or something about you that stands out that every time you see it, it's like, all right, I know who that is because it's consistent, the same. That's one thing you definitely want to do with your brand. And also for any logo designs out there, when people are starting out with logos, to definitely keep it simple. but get straight to the point of what exactly you're trying to say. So the main three things is when somebody sees anything that represents your business or your brand is to really describe who you are, what do you do, and why does it matter?
Okay.
Definitely. So, if you are able to even use that in your pitch as you go along with your business, or your logo should say it all, with Nike, just do it. And, their branding advertising is always anything athletic. And so that's their motto of pretty much their value system, what they believe in. They believe you should just do it, just go for it, and everything about it is just like positive of, it's a mantra for them. And so every time you see that symbol, you just like, exactly what that represents. You know what I mean? So it's consistent. So that's definitely a major key, following with anybody starting a brand.
Awesome. So, one of the questions I have, and I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs and small business, they have limited budget. We have limited budgets.
Right.
And you reach out to a brand manager or someone like yourself and say, "Oh my gosh, you need a logo," and you're like, you give your rates, which are fabulous rates, right? Because we know your value.
Yeah.
And then, so where is the return on the investment? How would you tell a client, okay, you invest in this logo, you invest in this brand, and this is how you're going to get your money back?
Oh, definitely. Well, the best way to sell them on that, well, not even sell them, but it's really the truth is that you're getting a one-time product for a lifetime. So this is something, if you plan on your business making six figures or more, what is that small one-time fee compared to a lifetime of your brand? In the large scheme of things, in the bigger picture. So that's a huge investment. I mean, that's your first impression for your brand going forward down the road for years to come. That's how people are going to recognize you. And it's best to get it done the first time you go around, otherwise you're going to spend more money and you're going to waste more time, focusing on doing that rather you can focus on building your brand, building your company, and doing what it is that you provide. But, you're wasting time, focusing more on, the design aesthetics of it when you don't have to, you can get it right the first time and you don't have to worry about that no more, or waste money, as
Right.
well, trying
Right.
to find the right fit. So
what would you say is the key differentiator between like what you do and what someone else can do for a small business owner or an entrepreneur?
That's a good question. I would say what differentiates me is the passion that I bring to the table with it as well. I go the extra mile. So, when I work with you as well with your logo marks, strategizing with you is part of it. So I'm going to go through the process with you to help you develop. If you don't know, or if you do know, your exact target audience, who you're marketing to. And one thing about me is that I push people, my clients, because I want more. I want the best for them. So if they are a small business starting out, and after discussing with them the different ideas and um, the vision that they have for their company, if they're a small business and they're thinking like a small business, then it's like I'm gonna push you to to really dream about what you really want, and feel free to actually say it. You don't have to be realistic. So impossible is nothing. So if you're going to do it, you might as well do it to the best of your abilities with excellence. And when you push people like that, you believe in them. And, you're passionate about their dream just as much as they are. And you bring that to the table. It's just a vibe. That people work with me and they trust me. And within that, it makes a huge difference. When you work with clients, like they just love you for that.
Awesome. So Brian says he's also a gifted listener, which is key to understanding what true brand is to become.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Brian, for instance, as well, is somebody who I've definitely have been impacted a lot by. Brian is, I would consider, a business mentor for me as well. and a true maven. He is definitely a maven. I would definitely say that, and a great supporter as well.
Awesome. And I mean, that's true, being a listener. So what would you say, like, how would you elaborate on that a little bit? So how does being a good listener help build brands?
It actually helps you to really narrow down on key words that people bring up when they're expressing their vision for their business. And that right there really paints pictures when you listen closely. It's the little hints, that they may bring about. It's similar that really is kind of like dating, and just like really is kind of getting to know the person, and you kind of figure out here little things here and there, both good and bad. The red flags, if they're a bad client, you're like, hey, I don't know if I want to work this person. I'm kind of seeing signs from the beginning. Or if it's a good client, you will start hearing, little things here and there that they will say or mention that kind of like connect the dots, because their heart will start speaking, how you really feel after a while once you start to express yourself. It'll come out to the light. And when I hear those things, after I listen to them, I repeat it back to you exactly. And if it sounds according to like what you're trying to explain, or if I can explain what you're trying to communicate even better, it helps, the process as well.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about these awards that you won.
Oh, well, I actually have them here with me. But the Titan Arts Awards, for people who aren't in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, it is the award show for the arts and entertainment in the DMV. So within this award show, you have the most up and coming artists out of the city, out of the area, performing artists. You have major radio stations there as well, models, you name it, your top R&B artists, honorary awards that night. So it's a great networking event in general.
Nice.
For pretty much the who's in the entertainment industry in the area, to definitely just connect with them in general. But that was a huge honor and a huge award right there as well.
Well, congratulations.
I appreciate it. I definitely.
Okay. And so, as you're really diving into this journey as an entrepreneur, what do you see as some of the challenges moving forward, or some obstacles that you've overcome?
Oh, wow. Well, I wasn't planning on telling this story, but I'll tell it because I think it'll be very inspiring to people. So I'm gonna go really in depth with this. All right.
That's what we're here for.
So 2 years ago, back in 2015, when I first tried to make the leap, and I had a 6-month runway. I was a passionate designer, just like most artists are. It's like, hey, I'm tired of this job. I can do better. This is bad design. I'm gonna go for it, And at that time, I had a stay rate clientele, but I didn't know the business side of it the way I thought I did. And so within that time frame, a family emergency happened, and I had to move. And within that moving process, I went through, a very hard time. I ended up, I'm not going to say that I was homeless, but pretty much couch surfing on friends' couches.
Sounds like the life of an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And it was hard, thank God for good friends. And, I had to get back into the workforce. Eventually got back on my feet to hop back out here again this time around. And, early this year, I had another lump because my external hard drive on my computer decided it wanted to die one day. So I lost all of my work. I mean, everything from like back in college when I first started design, everything was gone. And I had to pretty much start all over from scratch. I couldn't even access my own website,
Oh my God.
And from there, I had to pretty much learn different other software programs and learn how to code, and had to start all over again with more work. So it just really made me better, what it really did. but it was a lot of hard work. But, from that, I have my new website up now, and, we got more clientele from then, and things
What's your
looking up.
website?
Intuitivecreate.com. So it's INTUITIVE.com. Definitely. And another thing too, on the website today, if you go on the website, you can also download the free ebook for branding startups and branding 101 for startups. 4 questions to ask yourself before creating your brand identity. And it's a quick read, quick flip through for an ebook. It's a PDF. You can download it. And, these are things you definitely want to consider for creating a brand. And it's just, some quick tips and insight on it to help you along your process.
Awesome. We love free downloads around here, free resources. You guys definitely head over to intuitivecreate.com and download the Branding 101 guide. We need as many resources as possible with small business owners and entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And really, I want to say thank you so much for sharing that story. Like a lot of people hear about entrepreneurship and they think about the glitz and the glamour of it all. Yeah. And, they forget the struggle. The struggle is real, and I think the hardest part about it is just to, like you said, just to push through it and to keep going and, working towards your dream. So I hope that people will be able to find inspiration from that.
Definitely. I really do hope so. For anybody that's watching right now, whatever process that you're in on your journey, especially starting out, just stick with the process, trust the process that you're going through. It's all for a reason. It's worth it in the end. So definitely stick with it. Do not give up. And definitely listen to your intuition. It is some of the best advice I've ever gotten. Because there's going to be a lot of tough decisions you have to make along the process. And, just following your heart, no matter what nobody else tells you, just follow your heart. It won't lead you wrong. So.
Brandon says, glamour. We said the glitz and glamour of being an entrepreneur. He's like, what are you talking about? I don't know that side of it. And isn't that the truth, though? Isn't that how we feel sometimes? It's like, how are we going to get over this hump? How are we going to push through? So then let's go to the flip side. So what are some of the, so I guess let's just, without any questions, without any promptings, what would you tell your fellow savvy entrepreneurs about planning and preparing for 2018 and their goals and stuff like that?
Everybody is different as far as like the planning process. But what I would say to do now is to already plan 2018, the whole entire year, have that plan, how much revenue you want to make, your target goals for that. And really just execute a plan, week by week, how you're actually going to establish this, companies that you want to work with, people you want to collaborate with. It's like Brandon Neely, one step at a time. Definitely, I mean, it's funny that in life, you make those plans, it never goes exactly as planned, but it's good to at least have a margin to know what you're heading for. A destination, it's not going through the whole process blindly, hoping and wishing and working for the next project coming forward. You can think ahead, strategize and use every possible opportunity that's coming your way to completely just squeeze all the toothpaste out of the tube, to actually working in your advance, So
absolutely. So what do you have planned for 2018? What's the top 3 on your list for 2018?
I definitely want to speak at the Black Enterprise Conference in June of next year. I do plan on attending South by Southwest conferences and to really just more so network. I'm also planning on really doing a lot of giving back as well. There's also a school in DC, elementary school that's being rebuilt in Southeast, and they're doing a beautified day. So I'm planning on actually designing a mural for the school, and I'm currently still trying to get a few other organizations and companies and businesses involved that actually want to come out and participate. We're planting trees as well. Just anything for the kids in general, just to give back. And yeah, definitely a lot of partnering, a lot of collaborations, and you know just great design projects. I'm ready to help anybody build their dreams, in the best way possible with quality design. So
Awesome. Quality design. I mean, that's huge, right? So what would you say? Let's elaborate on that one a little bit. Quality design. So what about, especially against our small business owners and entrepreneurs with limited budget? What about, the grainy images and the blurry images? I mean, the iPhones are great nowadays. So what are some tips for putting out quality on a shoestring budget?
Well, on a shoestring budget, I would say that whatever picture that you use or want to use on the internet or the web, just a quick tool. If you have Photoshop on your computer, or at least you can get a trial version. If you are on that shoestring budget, you can get a free 30-day trial version. You want to make sure that all your images for the web are at least what they call 72 DPI, PPI, which is pretty much the amount of pixels within the picture. And with something of that degree, I don't want to get too technical. I know everybody's not a designer that's watching, but just to, want to make sure that that image is always the same quality. If you want to use it across a web, so it's not distorted and blurry and whatnot. And if you don't know, feel free to reach out to a graphic designer or even myself, to ask in general if you have a question about it. That's, it's free to ask a question. I mean, if you want to ask, simple things like that to actually help people, you can definitely contact me. But definitely that's a huge thing. I would say whenever you are using content for your social media, to make sure it's actual quality content. It makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. Everything that you post is part of your lifeline for your brand. It represents you. It's just the same thing. I mean, if you were to go out, in the street somewhere and, you always want to look your best, look presentable, as a business person, you don't want to just come off, just like you just woke up, and just walk out of the house. Wash your face, shower, what I mean? Presentable, what I mean? It's the same thing for your business. So definitely.
Awesome. So, like, I know, and I'm going to speak for the group. I know we have some small business owners that spend a lot of time on Instagram. They've actually asked me, like, what can I do to make my Instagram photos look better? Let's say I have a natural product line. What can I do to promote my stuff on Instagram without it looking like I'm on a shoestring budget?
Well, you can start with taking the best photos you can with your camera. Even if you only have your camera phone, iPhones have great cameras nowadays on them. Like, they can compete with your average camera you can buy from the store, a digital camera. Like, it's really good, like 13 megapixel, 12 megapixel camera. So that's enough quality to actually produce something that looks very presentable. And be persistent, even with like the angles. I would say go the extra mile, sell it. Don't just take a random picture of it, choose it as an angle. I mean, the best way to do that, if that's not like your expertise, is to study a business that's doing it on a commercial level that you admire. And notice how in those photos, they sell it to you. If you're selling something that's organic, take a plant and put it beside the item that you want to sell, to kind of like give the vibe, the aura of it. The same way that you would decorate your table for Christmas or your tree with ornaments, you want to sell that whole theme of like the Christmas atmosphere. You want to do the same thing for, your products that you're selling, and give people the right image of like what you want to look like. So if you don't own an actual shop or business, and you're selling, products, just think about like if you was to have your shop, how would you want it designed aesthetically inside, and the artwork that would go with
I love that.
And so when you're taking photos, you could make that come to life, and add those little elements to the photo to like really sell it, and it brings it home that people were like, that's nice, that's not your average picture, because a lot of people are, selling the same product that you are, so you have to differentiate yourself.
Nice, I like it. I'm gonna type that in. Imagine it looking like your storefront.
Definitely.
I really like that. Awesome. And then so Brandon says too much of too much of you just woke up post and marketing out there. Oh, I just woke up like this. I'm beautiful, glass of champagne and like diamonds, What do you have to say about that? The lifestyle images, stick with them, stay away from them, percentages.
I would say as long as it's consistent with your brand. I'm pretty sure everybody has been on Instagram, and there's certain pages you may go on Instagram, and the person may be selling a particular product, and then out of the blue, they might have a random picture of nature or something random that has nothing to do with the brand. And it's like you have to, even though it looks great, you have to differentiate, your personal life from your business. On your social media page, that's geared, that's geared more towards your business in particular. So those lifestyle photos I see online, like they're great. It's inspirational, very well. But I would say if you do not have all the content, 'cause I know sometimes there's going to be some days, realistically speaking, where you might not have the time or you might not really feel like it. You know what I mean? You might be sick. Post something inspirational. You can never go wrong posting something inspirational. And another key, it doesn't have to be yours. If you see something online you want to share, you know what I mean, and it's an inspirational quote, share it, and who doesn't, like inspirational quotes? It's going to give you guaranteed likes. It's going to give you guaranteed follows. So, that's definitely a major key for it as well.
Awesome. And so I just want to say, while we're finishing up our conversation, please, guys, if you have questions, drop them in the comments, and we will we'll have Navare answer those questions for us. So we'll be paying attention to that. Let's look through a couple of comments really quick. We just talked about Brandon's too much of you just woke up, but I like what you said about lifestyle images are great and they're inspirational. I really like that. A lot of people will say stay away from that. It's too, like Brandon said, it's too much of it. But I guess if you have a nice mix of that with quality content, everyone in the group knows I drive home quality content. That's my thing, right?
Definitely. Another key too that I've noticed that people like a lot is actually documenting your reality. If you're going to, for instance, like I'm doing an interview, I was to take a picture of this and show that on my timeline as well, then, it becomes real. I become a tangible thing that, somebody was staying in California and don't know me from nowhere. It's like, they can look on my page and see my journey. It's like, oh, okay, like he did this project, he did this. And like now we see like he has this event coming up. So, you show your face as well, on the camera and, behind the scenes of different things that you're doing. And it becomes realistic to people, and people look like, oh, okay. Because most of the time people present things already done and it looks great. It works well. And you don't see like all the hell and all the work and stress that goes in behind it. So like when you display that, realness to people as well, it connects with people, and it makes it more realistic that people that are trying to do what we're trying to do as well, more inspirational, and it helps a lot. It makes a difference.
Awesome. I love that. I think that that's important too. Like those behind the scenes type things. Those are actually probably more effective than always posting like you said, the pretty edited photos.
Right. Definitely.
And I think sometimes people forget like the key thing about social media is being authentic. It's about, in this day and age, especially with, the Instagram, you can look and be whoever you want to be. So I think that's important. Awesome. So we have a question from Brian. So he says, who is your ideal customer and client?
Oh, wow. That is a great question. I would say my ideal client is somebody who really, really took the time to really consider it what they want for their brand, or at least their vision. It's fine to not know everything that you want, particularly for your business or brand, as far as like brand identity. That's what I specialize in. But there's a difference when somebody who took in themselves very serious, and also clients who, well, to get real with it, some clients that actually pay on time.
Ding 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 ding. So close to home right there.
Definitely that. But as well, I would say that I don't have an ideal client. I would say that really mostly I work off vibes. So once I meet a client, if I get a good vibe off of them, especially if I believe in what they're doing, if it's for a real cause, I can tell right then and there that's like, all right, I'm a like working with this person. Like I said, again, it's like matchmaking. If it's the right person for you, I personally will tell people that, I'm not the right person for you. I can reference you to another designer, because one thing you do not want to do is to work with a bad client. It becomes a project from hell. And then now you don't even enjoy your passion, which you even got into a business for, in the first place. It's like feeling like you have a day job all over again. So it's not even worth the money. If you come across those red flags, right then and there, don't settle for it. Don't. It's not worth it. You can use that energy that they're going to drain you from to actually, find a client that is in line with your work ethic and what you're bringing to the table, and see if that's a right match. And it'll actually help you gain more success of, what you're trying to accomplish on both ends, because you work well together. So
awesome. And along those same lines, how do you feel about giving discounts to clients or clients that come in looking for discounts?
Oh, wow.
We're keeping it real, right?
Yeah.
Keeping it real with Savvy Entrepreneur.
Yeah, it happens, the friend discount, that comes with family. I've learned over time, I didn't, right. I didn't want to do it. I've had my fair share of doing it when I was freelancing, and I learned my lesson, because when you're offering services, it's the same amount of work. And when you do give discounts, you kind of given the ideal of like your worth being depreciated. And what happens is you tend to try to take advantage of you, So you have to set those guidelines, and it's like, hey, it's business, it's nothing personal, and I would rather just offer somebody advice. If I was to give any discount, would just be the advice I can offer you.
That's a great point. I like that. So the recap to that, guys, is giving discounts really can undervalue your service.
Definitely.
So be careful, and you don't have to just turn someone away. You can still offer them some type of advice or some free guidance on what they can do. You may not be able to do it for them, but this is what I recommend that you do.
Definitely. Awesome. I'm sure you had your fair share as well.
I feel the exact 100% same way that you do. I'm a nice person, and I like to help people, and I have found myself giving discounts, whether it's the family and friends discount, whether it's the sister girl discount, whether it's the, whatever it is discount. And 9 times out of 10, you end up feeling resentful of the situation, because what happens is you end up giving thousands of dollars worth of work for a very small fee. And the client thinks, oh, well, I expect, their expectation just doesn't match the value of the work. So
Right.
I would just tell everyone out there, I agree 100%. Navare, just be very careful when it comes to giving discounts, because if you know your value, it's kind of like being in a relationship, right? If you know your value and you're with a guy or a girl, are you going to discount,
Right.
the work in that relationship? It's the same way, except for this time it's money. So, stop playing with your money.
Right.
Awesome. And so we have Brandon. So Brandon has a question. He says he uses Canva to create quotable images and some other content. Have you guys used that tool?
Oh yeah, Canva. No, that's a definitely good tool to use online. It's free as well for Canva. I actually use Canva for my ebook. So it's very helpful. It's very intuitive for anybody to use. Even if you're not a designer, it's a quick fix for you to actually use for content. I've only used it for an ebook though, but it's very helpful for anybody who's trying to create content and you want it to have some type of professional appeal that's quick and easy to use. You can use Canva for it. So
Awesome.
Yeah. Definitely.
I agree. I totally agree. I use Canva. I love it. I use it a lot of the times, like, things change, especially like sizes and stuff. So depending on which social media platform I'm presenting, posting something for, it has all the sizes on there. So it makes it really, really easy.
Right.
So I use it for that. And I use it mobile. I use it for exactly what it says Canva has lots of templates. And I use it for mobile too. So if I'm on the go and I need to create, like you said, a quotable image or something, then I'll use it like on my mobile phone.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start closing out our amazing session. Thank you so much, Navare. Do you have your awards nearby?
I do. Let me grab it 1 second.
Yeah. Impress us with the bling.
Well, I have here the MAMAwards award here for DMV's Best Graphic Designer, and this one for Titan Arts Awards.
Ooh, fancy! Yes, congratulations!
Thank you.
Awesome. So again, thank you so much, Juan, for being here with us. Thank you for even just being a part of our community.
I appreciate that.
I mean, this is like even more valuable, honestly, than I could have even imagined. I'm so excited.
I appreciate it. And I thank you for even having this group as well. I really appreciate it because these type of groups, and yours in particular, really helps, to get the exposure, to even have these conversations, to start these conversations. There's so many other entrepreneurs who feel the same way or going through the same struggles. So it's just easy to go through and actually help one another to have, a network where you can discuss these with other entrepreneurs through your process. You don't feel alone,
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you so much. And I think that it is important to have these conversations. And I think that, like, I don't want us to only highlight the really, really successful, right? And then I don't want us to only highlight the starting entrepreneur. Like, there's a gamut of us, like, and then today I may be on the top of the mountain with one business, and then tomorrow it may be something else, or vice versa. So I definitely think it's important for us to have these conversations. Is there anything that you want to leave us with on your way out about branding, about intuitive, about your company, about anything?
I would like to leave with a quote that the sky is big enough for all birds to fly. So no matter what field you in, do not worry about competition with others. Collaborate and partner with one another. It is the best way for you to grow your business. You will not get there by yourself. I promise you. You need help. It makes it village to build a brand. So.
Awesome, everyone. So that oops, I have a typo in there. So that's my Spanglish for today, or my Ebonic collaboration over competition. But that's what we're all about here, And I think that is super important. I love what Brian said. Brian says we should all do lunch in DC after the new year.
Oh,
I'm with it.
I'm with it.
I'm with it. So it's nothing. We'll make that happen. I'll even feel free, anyone, to post something. Again, in the group, everyone, this is not my group. This is our group. So feel free to, we do have community managers. So just blatant disrespectful, promotion. I never participate in the group. I'm just posting my MLM. Nothing against MLM, but it will probably be deleted, right? But post, if you're for example, post your ebook. Anyone else who has a free giveaway, feel free to post it. Anything that's a value add to our group members, please post. Something like this, an invite for a meetup. There's a few of you in California, or a few of you in DC, or New York, or Atlanta, wherever, post that you'd want to meet up with some of the savvy entrepreneurs in your area. I love it, Brian. Yes. Brian, he's the gold star. Well, Brian, Brandon, Jamila. We have a thorough crew here today. Yeah. So this is exciting, and thank everyone for the support, and thank you so much, Navare, for being here with us, especially during this busy holiday season.
I appreciate it.
And again, let us know as a group anything that we can do to support. As a savvy entrepreneurs, if anyone needs a logo, anyone needs any type of taking it a step further, because what we didn't talk about, honestly, it's a conversation that you and I had, is that the logo is really just an entry point to your brand.
Definitely.
You know what we'll do? We're gonna have you back. That's what we'll do. We're gonna have you back after the new year, and we can talk about building your brand beyond the logo. Or that's a good
oh, yeah.
Beyond the logo.
Yeah.
So, but thank you again.
I appreciate it, and also I want to know: is there any way I can offer you any value, or the Savvy Entrepreneur group any value of how to expand it, how to grow upon it? Let me know how I can be of service.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Use that hashtag Savvy Entrepreneur Meetup. Let's get it started in 2018.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Deuces.
All right, see you.
Yeah.